Peace, 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 peace. Yeah, for whatever reason. But you know, it's YouTube and I don't expect YouTube to support me and things of that nature. So hopefully, whoever this message gets to needs it and receives it. I know like people subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications and don't get notifications of the lives and things of that nature. But just know, yeah, just know that we're here every day. Just know that you can count on me to be kind of coming with this information. So maybe you have to manually search or manually get to my YouTube channel to find the lives. That's why social media is a good tool to get in touch with these lives and things of that nature. A tool that I use to get my message out. Also, I do want to encourage the family to add me on Snapchat, like so we can like chat throughout the day. You know, act goofy. Do all the fun stuff. I really like Snapchat as an app. Especially for talking to people because it's not that serious, it's not that deep, and you can get some good builds. You can go live, you can do the face to face and all of that real quick. Really dope app. So add me on Snapchat, the Hood Mystic. But we'll talk more about the business at the end of this build. But I really just wanted to jump straight into this build. I'm the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com, and the title of this video is Redemption. And so some background before I get into the astrology, and also peace to everybody on the live. Thanks for watching. Peace to everybody who watches this video post live. I appreciate you. Everybody that sends me messages, well wishes, positive energy, negative energy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Keep sending it, whether it's hate or love. It's all useful to an alchemist. So peace and love and blessings to everyone. So Monday, I was talking about the show that I was watching called Damnation, and I was kind of speaking on how astrologically it speaks to a particular uprising and even though I knew about like the France riots, like a little bit of it, I wasn't saying it because of the France riots, and the fact that I was speaking about uprising was completely based upon astrology. But lo and behold, they really getting it in over there in France in the name of uprising, in the name of, people, in the name of individuals, in the name of a way of life for your children, and a way of fighting back against a system that isn't set up for your best interest. So I just say that to say that the concept of studying astrology and how it relates to the world is extremely valid. And if you can find yourself in this day and time, then you have purpose. You have a message or a ministry. And I had this thought after I got off the live yesterday, and I forgot it, and it just now came back to me. What I was gonna call this video yesterday, I was driving. I was gonna call this video The Helpers. Especially in this day and age where everybody's looking for help, who's gonna help them and things of that nature. I was wondering, I had a question like, who is gonna be the ones who are the helpers, and that speaks to Mercury in the 29th degree, which speaks of intercession. And intercession is a way of mediation or a way of going between. Some of us are smarter than others. Some of us are stronger than others. Some of us just simply know more than others. And we as a society have to begin to look to other individuals who have been trying to, tell people some real stuff but we was just caught up in our own little fogs and things of that nature. And now we gonna have to start to utilize these resources. Another thing that I was thinking about is people's apprehension to dealing with psychics or calling psychics or dealing with people who do readings and things of that nature. On some real stuff, people like that have saved my life, like literally saved my life, like gave me insight that I desperately needed. So if you find yourself in psychic peril or emotional turmoil and you can't solve the answers for you, you don't understand what's going on, it's low key imperative that you reach out to somebody who has a connection to the divine. And to find the right psychic or to find the right spiritualist, that's all relative to who resonates with you. But don't shun or think that people are not here to help you on the psychic level. And then I would like to say to the ones that are the actual healers or the actual helpers, what you do is not in vain. You have to understand the purpose of your place in this world. And what's happening is a rising up out of the childhood way of thinking of yourself and everything that comes along with that. So your purpose and what you need to really do comes fully online. And I don't know why I'm talking like a goddamn machine right now, but I just want to be crystal clear of what the energy is speaking to. Because when I was studying the astrology, I would get key points. And then from the key points came a flood of information that now I'm trying to say, but I have to be, I have to take my time because it's a lot of information, and I have to be clear because somebody needs to hear this and somebody needs to realize, their place in this world. And this energy trining Chiron and Pisces. And let's not forget that Mars conjunct Neptune and Pisces brings about this fighting warrior-like spirit. I don't know if I know I've said this, but I don't know if people have remembered me saying this, but Mars in Pisces represents an action hero or a superhero or somebody that's fighting against something. And that person could be tattered up and he could be beat up, or it could look really bleak for them. But as you see, France's government is now giving into the demands of the rioters. So no matter what it looks like, if you're willing to fight for something, if you're willing to die for something, you don't know what could happen. But if you sit back and you're not fully engaging and fighting and striving for what you truly believe in, of course you're going to point fingers and blame. So, and then it may be a point where the energy is going back and forth between person to person, and the reality is that people to people, we are not each other's enemies. Like, that's something that we really need to get off of. It's a much bigger enemy that wants us to fight each other. And so the reality is that if we can't begin to come together like mature adults, then, more of the same is going to go on in this country. And we can look to people in France, and we can look to people in, all throughout the world at this point, coming together and fighting under a common cause. But the reality is, in this country, I feel we still have a long way to go to get to that space, because it's a lot of fear, lot of comfort as well, a lot of My bills is paid. I got a 2013 car. You know what I'm saying? Low mileage. You know, stupid shit that kind of makes it easy for us to go to sleep at night. But at the end of the day, we're dependent on a system that is destroying us. So, Chiron in Pisces speaks to consummation, where even though there are millions of people who haven't woken up, who have, you know, are still sheep, who are still asleep, you know, there are also millions of people who have woken up and are dealing with this spiritual energy, but not in a sense of, okay, I'm spiritual, look at me, I'm woke, I got cowrie shells, I got a head wrap, you know, I got dreads, I read every woke book that ever came out. But then it's like, okay, brother, what spiritual systems have you put out to the planet? You know, what have you done? What technology have you created with all of this wokeness that you cultivated? Well, I got these herbs and shit that I bought offline that I'm now trying to resell. And I'm like, okay, you know, you woke man of the year, you know, or woke woman of the year. But the reality of spiritual science and the reality of spiritual technology is a phenomenal uh, exposition of abundance, of talent, of creation, of community, of cultivation, of, you know, deep love, you know, beauty, all of the good things in life that we could create with spirituality, that I think that our people get caught up on the aesthetic and not the actual technology, not the actual alchemy, not the actual transformation. So Chiron in Pisces, the wounded healer in the 27th degree of Pisces is giving you, so it's saying these could be the systems that could work for you, but you're going to have to implement them. Or it could be a same way of you not doing shit and still feeling that you don't have to put no effort in, that things are just going to come to you. So that's an ignorant version of the trine. The enlightened version of the trine is to say, let me implement systems that will benefit me in the future. Let me invest in passive income streams. Let me do the knowledge on E-Trade or Forex or whatever the case may be that interests me, that, you know, whether it be farming or, you know, or community gardens, or, you know, it's just the concept of doing something now that's going to benefit you in the future, the implementation of systems. So with that being said, you could realize how a lot of people are not going to be on this wave, but you could be on this wave if you take heed or you understand what I'm trying to say. But the moral of Chiron at the 27th degree trine Mercury, one leg of this grand trine, is you can't be waiting for things to happen. You actually have to prepare, and you actually have to make things happen. You either a wounded healer or you still wounded. You either a wounded healer or you still wounded. So that's a question that you really have to ask yourself and figure out where you at on the darkness side of this trine or the lightness side of the trine. And moving forward, we're going to discuss the North Node in Cancer at the 27th degree. I got that highlighted circle, and I also have it pinpointed as the actual text surrounding that Sabian symbol for the 27th degree of the North Node in Cancer, where we have a violent storm in a canyon filled with expensive homes, a confrontation with the social upheaval demanding the reconsideration of static values. Same shit, but in different words. Same shit is going on in France, but even we can say, okay, we can use France as an example and use the astrology to point to, okay, that's going on in France. But even that don't do shit for us, right? What needs to happen, what needs to really be understood is that the shit that you've been saying to yourself, the bullshit that you've been saying to yourself needs to be confronted, and it needs to be tore the fuck down. Like, you need to riot against your damn self. You need to riot against your personality that says that, you know, that you are this person doing this thing that has to do it. I'm talking about spiritual ass people who will tell you that they have to work at a job that they hate, that they have to be in a relationship that they don't want to be in, that they have to have friends that they don't really fuck with, that they have to have family members that hate their whole entire soul, but they have to be around them because they family. Spiritual ass people though that got all of the onks and all of the fancy name on Facebook, you have a conversation with them and you realize that they've never even confronted their old Christian ass beliefs, but they've adopted an idea and the identity of being conscious. That to me is very dangerous. And so we could use France as an example, but like I said, it don't got shit to do with you, because you ain't in France unless you in France. And if you in France, you know, much power and respect to everything that y'all going through. And you know, as always, like the French Revolution in 1774, 2 years later was an American Revolution. So, you know, if you peep the signs, the last time that this happened, Pluto was in Capricorn. What the fuck is Pluto in today? Capricorn? Okay. What set off the American Revolution? The French Revolution. Okay. Once you understand that this shit works in cycles and cyclicals and all of that, then you won't be surprised. You will be more or less astounded. And once you become astounded, you will look at people like, y'all motherfuckers are really drinking all of the Kool-Aid, all of the sugar. Ain't nobody really woke. Because, you know, you'll be surprised how many people hold resentment towards their father. But they'll give you all of the advice in the world about what you need to do with your life, but they hate their dad. Not over it. Not processed, not did no alchemy on their father whatsoever. Tender to the touch. You say the word daddy, they get fucking, they want to square up with you. You know. So a lot of this shit you just got to really pay attention to. You got to really understand that, man. 2019, nobody's playing with you. Nobody's being nice to you. Nobody's being kind to you. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be nice to yourself. You have to fuck with yourself. You have to love yourself. And if you understand that you are the economy, you are the community, you are the light of the fucking planet, then we'll be okay. If you looking to see who gonna save you, we gonna be in trouble. Okay, so, you know, that was the Grand Trine, right? We got Mercury, Chiron, North Node, and I want to talk about one other aspect because I want to. I have no reason to talk about this aspect, but it seemed very intriguing, and it seemed like something that would be interesting to talk about. So, that aspect is Venus at the 6th degree, sextile Saturn at the 9th degree of Capricorn, Venus being in Scorpio. Venus at the 6th degree mark represents enthusiasm, represents an extreme eagerness, and it actually kind of, now that I'm looking at it, it actually kind of like caps off that Grand Trine. So that's probably why I want to talk about it. That extreme eagerness could actually look like a rioter or somebody who's possessed by the spirit of God. And you know, um, I know y'all be watching those movies where you know somebody just gets so crazy. Like movies is crazy when they have like a lead character and like they'd be like, let's put our lead character in front of like 18 niggas with guns, and our lead character don't got no gun. He tied up in a chair and all 18 people about to shoot at our lead character, but somehow, some way he gets out of it. You know what I'm saying? And all 18 people be dead, and the lead character just be walking out, you know, with two guns in his hand, like I told y'all not to mess with me. That's like a level of being possessed. That's a level of being freedom. So if we wanted to look at Venus at the 6 degree mark, is actually like the concept there is like, no matter what I'm faced with, nothing can stop me. I don't care if 20 of y'all got guns and I'm surrounded, I'm gonna still figure a way out. And if you sextile this energy with Saturn at Saturn, and okay, let me pause. Let me chill out for a second. Saturn, because the energy be coming, and I gotta kind of be like, all right, my nigga, chill the fuck. Let me get this shit out. So that energy, sextile, Saturn, and Capricorn speaks to attunement, speaks to spiritual, the ultimate concept that God is within you. So maybe 6 or 7 people over the past month have, whether it be through messages, DMs, phone conversations, talk about visions or dreams or some form of realization with the soul or the higher self. And the higher self is just putting them on game, like everything is everything, you know, life begat you, or you begat life, you are the supreme creator, you know, all of the fancy fly higher self shit. And so this is Saturn and Capricorn. But you know, you could tell a human being anything, but if you don't truly embody it and believe it, it don't really matter. So you know, people tell me these things, I guess, to kind of, you know, so it can be kind of bear witnessed and documented. But when I don't know what the hell you going to do with that shit. Like if you if you God, like I don't know how you going to handle that. Like that never personally happened to me, but I can understand, you know, these dreams that people have been having. I get what y'all going through. The reality is that God is within you. Now let's take a step back, because we dealing with a sextile, and maybe you forgot what I just previously just said. So let me just bring it back to, let's make sense of it all. So if you in a situation where you tied down, you know, tied to a chair, and niggas talking shit about how they gonna do all types of crazy shit to your mama, how they finally got you, they've been after you for, you know, however long, and they finally got you, and you kidnapped, they got you. If you understand, see, a sextile represents effort. A sextile represents an amount of energy put forth to get to unify these two distant points. So the effort in realizing that, I understand what you're thinking. I know you probably think that you got me. And I know you probably think that I ain't gonna get out of this situation. But you need to realize that I'm the main character in this movie. I'm the hero. So I'm gonna make it out of this shit. This is not a tragedy. This is some American cinema, and the good guy always wins. But the reality is that I have to attune to my higher self. And that's the effort that needs to be taken out of. Like, I need to realize that it's an energy bigger than me. And if I attune to that, I'll be able to rise out of this situation. I'll be able to rise out of this circumstance with grace and hop in my 1972 fancy car and ride off in the sunset with a bag of money, with my dog in the back seat and my girl in the passenger seat, and just ride off in the sunset. I mean, if that's how you want to view it. But ultimately, that's an exaggeration. But the reality or the results of working this sextile or putting the effort into tuning into your higher self is defining purpose in whatever situation you're at. You know, with this channel, we kind of strive to, you know, speaking to individuals no matter where they at, you know, the heights of heights and the lows of lows, you know, we all have the ability and capability to tap into their higher self and their higher soul. That's why we, you know, can come on here every day and do daily energy readings just to remind the spirits and the souls that, you know, self-attunement is available. But don't be confused about this shit. That's what the tarot card of the day, which signifies the third decan of Scorpio, which Mercury is actually at. Kind of just want to fixate and focus on Mercury and where it's positioned at in astrology, and kind of find a tarot card that speaks to that energy so we can kind of tie it all in together. So with the Seven of Cups, we are speaking about a level of being caught up in illusions, being caught up in physicality and letting the physicality control our emotions and not focused in on our souls or really getting to the core of our being. And the to unify or to understand the Seven of Cups is not to say, Hood Mystic, you right. I've been tripping. I've been on some illusionary shit. I'm about to do some different shit. And then just be the end of the conversation. If you really want to get out of the Seven of Cups energy, you actually have to do some shit. You actually have to read a fucking self-help book. If you got psychological issues, if you got depression, if you got bipolar, you know, like, if a person says that I'm struggling with depression, like, I respect that person more than I respect a person who gonna come around me and act like they fucking happy. You gotta be fucking shitting me. You better respect people who got the courage enough to say that they're depressed versus people who go on front and pump fake and act like everything is hunky-dory. Because them people are the worst, and they will have you in the worst situations in the blink of an eye because they not real with themselves and you expect them to be real with you. Can't really say much to that. The redemption of the individual, the whole past will be redeemed, and that includes all the inferior things as well, the animals and the ancestral souls, everything that has not been completed. All creation will be redeemed in the apocastasis at the last time of the last judgment. There will be complete restoration of things as they have been. And family, this is where we're at, you know, and my thing is, if you are struggling mentally, emotionally, get help. Because if you have a broke ass leg, I mean, your shit is at a 90-degree angle, and you like walking around here like, no, I'm cool, it ain't nothing. Hey, carry me to the bathroom real quick. Like, ain't nobody got time to be carrying you to the bathroom. You better take your ass to the hospital and get a cast and get your foot corrected so you can walk on your own. See, mental health, emotional health is the same as physical health, but it's just abstract and it's ethereal. Meaning that a lot of us are etherically paralyzed and we won't even seek to get help because that shit is what's the word, taboo in our communities. We don't want to tell our mama that we got mental health issues, or we feel like we going crazy, or we feel like we about to die, or we think about committing suicide, or anything that you might be struggling with that you be thinking about. And then, you know how many people you be just kicking it with them, and then the next day you found out they done commit suicide? Like, and you like, damn, if only I'd have known. You know what I'm saying? Like, they said that the age expectancy rate has lowered in this country by a huge percent due to opioid deaths and suicide deaths. I don't struggle with opioids, nor do I think about killing myself. But the mere fact that people struggle with opioids and the mere fact that people think about killing themselves gives me something to talk about. Because I couldn't imagine that. Because I realized that through finding my soul and finding my true self, that part of me is forever. I could never, even if my vessel was to die, my soul and my spirit would never die. So killing myself just seems crazy. And then dealing with my true self, dealing with my soul, it creates such a wonderful experience on this planet. I don't want to leave. And that's just me. So, if ever, this channel helps you get to a space where you wanted to live, or you wanted to be better, or do something with your life, that's all that, we was put on this planet to do, to give people hope, to give people purpose, and figuring out why the fuck we are here. So once we do leave, we don't have to come back, But with that said, still have some stuff to do later out in the day. But what I'm really about to do is go grab me a cup of tea, maybe some coffee, and sit and do the rest of these Patreon readings. So appreciate everybody that's been showing their love on the Patreon, patreon.com/thehoodmystic. Invite the family that want to message, that want to chat. Join me on Snapchat /thehoodmystic, Instagram thehoodmystic. What else? www.hoodmystic.com. That's the website. If you want to get a reading, you can hit me up at www.hoodmystic.com. Click to schedule a reading app. If that doesn't work, hit me up at hoodmystic@gmail.com. But be engaged, be in tuned. I'm always around. Technology affords me to be always around, so I'm appreciative of that. And a lot of information, man, in 35 minutes. Felt like I talked for like 5 hours. Oh shit. But everybody have a great day. Stay in tune with the higher self, and no matter what's happening, no matter what you're going through, there's a solution, and that solution is within you, man. I promise, I guarantee you can overcome anything by tapping into your spirit within you.